The Gogodala people are a small tribe of hunter-gatherers who live in the far western province of Papua New Guinea. It is one of the most unexplored places in one of the most unexplored countries in the world. The story the Gogodala tell of their origins begins with their ancestors' long journey by canoe to a scattering of lush islands set in this tropical lagoon. Thousands of years later, the Gogodala are still here, still mostly hunter-gatherers, still using canoes as their main means of transportation around the lagoon, still cut off from the rest of the world.
Welcome, Professor.
Now they are making an extraordinary claim that has attracted the attention of scholars and religious groups from around the world. The Gogodala say they are one of the lost tribes of Israel. They say the Jewish holy book, the Torah, is their story. And after thousands of years in an Eden all to themselves, the Gogodala now say they want to go home, to Israel. FIU religious studies professor Tudor Parfitt is an expert on lost Jewish tribes. In March 2013, he took his third trip to Papua New Guinea to visit the Gogodala. To Professor Parfitt, the Gogodala's claim to an Israeli ancestry is actually part of a worldwide phenomenon tied to colonialism and the influence of Christian missionaries.
In religious studies, we talk about syncretism, which is the way in which different religious traditions can come together and form a new sort of religious entity. And this is what we have here. The bedrock, I think, of the religious identity of the Gogodala remains in some respects their traditional belief system upon which has been grafted Christianity, which was introduced to this previously cannibalistic tribe in the 1950s. Now, on top of that's been grafted a kind of Judaism. So it's interesting to see that they now, many of them wear yarmulkes. They've recently acquired prayer shawls. They've started celebrating quite specifically Jewish holidays like Passover, for instance, and Hanukkah.
The Gogodala say they have always been Jews. In fact, their original ancestors, they say, came from Jerusalem.
And our ancestors believe, they passed down the story that we traveled in that canoes. The canoes came from a place called Yebisaba.
We believe that Yebisaba is in Israel, which is Jerusalem at this time, because at that time that place was still known as Yabis. And that's our ancestors and our forefathers told us that that's our homeland. And we will return one day to that place, Yabisaba, in the west.
A traditional dance of the Gogodala relates the story of their exodus from Israel and predicts their eventual return.
We are praying that the Lord's word will be fulfilled through us. When it says in the Bible, when Yeshua's coming, before he comes, all his people, his chosen people, will go back to Israel.
So far, the Gogodala claim to be Jewish has not been validated. Initial DNA tests by Professor Parfitt proved inconclusive. For now, life on the lagoon continues as it always has. And it remains to be seen whether these young Gogodala will be as fervent as their parents to trade their Eden for Israel.
Asal